Hello everyone, welcome to A Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. Thought I'd give a little update here, a little farm update today. I've already passed out most of the morning duckweed to the fish here, but I want to give these guys here a little bit extra. Because even though they're small, this tank here actually has the most fish in it. And they eat a lot of the duckweed. The new arrivals there are doing well. Nobody on the top gulping for air, so this new aeration pump was just the ticket. Marcel's garden here is kind of going along. Taking all her tomatoes out. We've got more started. These bell peppers are kind of at the end of their production cycle. There's still bell peppers on them, but they probably need to be fertilized. Somehow here, I think she made the mistake of planting camotes or something, and that's what all this is here. It just takes over, and it's starting to choke out her remaining pepper plants. The problem that she's had with these pepper plants, I mean, she's got a lot of peppers off of these, but the ants get into the roots and kill them. So most of this here needs to be replanted. I've been given strict instructions that we're not to plant squash up here again around the limoncito trees, because she can't get to what she needs to get to, the stuff that she plants in here. So there will be no more squash planted up here. I'm going to go check the seeds we put in real quick. What do we got going on here? Yeah, some of the tomatoes she planted are coming up, and we're still waiting on the peppers. That's kind of the norm. Peppers take a little longer. So this area is doing fine. The squash are still producing. The limoncito are still producing. And as soon as we take all these squash out, I'm fairly certain Marcel will be in here with a vengeance planting other stuff. And we're getting close, probably about another month, and we'll take all these squash out. We'll get another couple little harvests out of here, and then we're done with it. The fish are doing well. We may have to do a harvest here in a day or two. Don't know yet. We might and we might not. That would be this box here that we would harvest. It kind of depends on whether or not we can come up with. Look, YouTube payday is probably going to be in 3 days. I've got about 3 days of feed left, so it's kind of touch and go. But hopefully we'll be able to stretch this for at least another 2 or 3 weeks, and let these fish mature a little bit. Tata did not reset the net back. I was hoping he would, but he hasn't. What I'm thinking is that we'll pull fish out of the pond one more time, the larger ones, and instead of dumping the smaller ones back into the pond and letting them run free, because that is such a large net, we'll just leave the fish that we'll remove the largest ones, put them up in the tanks up there, and the smaller ones we will leave in it. I'll have to aerate it, of course. And when we harvest this box, because last time when we harvested this box, the smaller fish we just well, it was this box that we harvested, and so the smaller ones that were not quite ready to sell, we put into this one. So instead of doing that again, harvesting this one and then the ones that are slightly too small to sell, we put into this one, what we would do is just put them back into that trap net and do it that way. So that's kind of the plan moving forward. It's just whether or not, it's just when this harvest is going to happen, I don't know. The squash in the fields are cycling through fields 1 and 2 here in about, I don't know, 3 weeks. I think we'll get one more harvest out of them, and then we'll begin to look. I think the squash, we had a little bit of a blight problem this time, just a little bit. You guys remember how lush and green this field 1 was, and then it started raining, so we did have farm wide on the squash a bit of a blight problem. So we're not going to replant squash. We're going to come back through, and as we take this squash out of these fields, we're going to replant corn for just for something different and a bit of crop rotation. I just don't want to keep planting the same thing over and over and over and over again. It depletes the micronutrients in the soil, because every plant pulls a different amount of different minerals out of the soil. And if you keep planting the same thing over and over and over again, pretty soon you're out. And so that's what we're going to do. We'll replant. And field 1 and 2 are, we could probably pull out the squash right now, but I'm thinking we can get one more harvest. Altogether, out of these fields so far, we've gotten about 600 kilos, which is not great, but like I said, we did have the blight problem. So fields 1 and 2 and 3, because field 3 is just not inducive to squash production. Man, this is so grown up in here. The squash really sends out the runners. So field 3 never did produce that well, not the squash anyway, so it won't hurt my feelings a bit to replant it in corn. So fields 1, 2, and 3, probably pretty quick, will be replanted in the corn probably within a couple weeks. Field 4 here, you can see the blight problem. The yellowing of the leaves. It's just too much rain, but at least it hasn't rained in a couple 3 days, and so those carpenter bees they're able to do their thing. The problem when it rains every day is that you just don't get pollination, and luckily We had a bit of rain, I think 2 nights ago, but the days have been reasonably clear for like the last week, and so that's a good thing. The bananas that we replanted all in here seem to be doing okay. We'll probably plant this unplanted side of field 5 before we even do fields 1, 2, and 3. Because this particular field will require no removal of squash plants, very minimal weeding, and so we'll probably plant this field first, this side of this field first. Todd and I have already talked about that. And the squash over there on the other side are doing well, and the blight has not, well, I take that back. Right in that little area right there, I can see it started. And field 5 or field 6, we're just gonna mow it one of these days, and replant any bananas that need to be replanted, and go from there. That's an example of one of these Lacatan. They just don't produce that well. This one actually needs to be propped up pretty quick or it will fall. You can see all 3 of these here have little scrawny, pretty sorry looking bunches of bananas on them. Either one of these would probably be ready in about a month. 3 weeks, a month, somewhere in there. And there's several others. All these, this is the line of the field here. So all those down there, all the remaining Lacatan have fruit on them. That's why they were left. So that's where we're at. The bananas we planted over there on the plateau are going great guns. And we're talking to a couple people, a couple of different buyers, and both of them I have stated that we want to keep all crops, because both of them will be on the well, it depends. We have one cash offer that's below what I think we want. And then we have 2 offers that are okay, but I stipulated that we want to harvest all crops until the payments are complete, and they both seem on board with that. So we shall see. But the bananas over there are doing really good, and we'll begin harvesting on those in a couple months probably. I mean, some of those are 15 feet high. It's amazing to me how they can grow so well in that jungle, but Tatai says that's the way to do it. Okay, Tatai, you're the banana expert. That's the update. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.